Good evening, how we doing? Yeah, cool. That's me, Troy Orchard. My dad's black, my mum's white. I somehow came out Vietnamese. I'm not kind of... not too sure how that happened. It's cool. Kind of like Dwayne Johnson and Jada's love child. It's cool. It's alright. You know, might not gong me off, you know, a lot of steroids in my system. I'm joking, I'm a comedian, I can't afford steroids. But no, so I have a Jamaican grandmother and an Irish grandmother. So growing up, I got away with fuck all. I don't know if you guys know this, but if a Jamaican grandmother slaps her grandson every time she does it, he gets a shade lighter. And I was a very naughty child, literally, honestly. But no, one of my favourite memories of childhood is going around to my nan's house and her telling me all these stories about what it's like to grow up in Jamaica. She's like, we lived in this beautiful house by the beach, and every day I'd run and I'd play in the crystal blue waters, and then I'd lie in the sand and I'd let the warm sun dry me, and I'd listen to the birds in the trees, you know, and all of this in her almost like musical Jamaican accent. She's really painting this picture for me. And I love those memories, I really did. And I said to myself, one day I'm going to go and I'm going to visit this paradise that I'm lucky enough to have in my family. And my mum comes and picks me up and she goes, Troy, did you have a nice time with your nan? And I said, yeah, I really did. She told me all about growing up in Jamaica. Can I go to Jamaica one day? And my mum goes, what are you talking about, Troy? And I said, Nan's story in Jamaica, the house. And my mum gets me to explain, and she goes, oh, okay, I see. And she goes really quiet for a while, and then I see that she's crying. I'm like, Mum, what's wrong? Why are you crying? And she goes, listen to me very carefully, Troy, none of that was true. I go, what do you mean? And then she explained. And that was a very important memory for me, London, because it was the day I learned just how bad my Irish grandmother's dementia really was. Okay. An applause for a dementia joke, all right. My kind of people. That joke does have quite a lot of setup, but I do really enjoy telling it because I can sense people in the room are like, where's he going with this? Oh, he's a fucking bastard. Now, I do believe that humor should be used to, like, you know, deal with traumatic experiences. And yes, like, my nan did have very bad dementia. I went to visit her towards the end of her life. She had no idea who I was, but we should still communicate, like, through WhatsApp messages. And, like, I'd send her a gif of, you know, like, I don't know, a bar mitzvah or something, with the wee boy on the chair spinning around. And then I would just text her, you know, continue the conversation like nothing had happened. Just because, you know. Got to use humor to find, you know, deal with the pain. But even though I am very light-skinned, I do still get stereotyped quite a lot. So I'm from Bristol, that's what the accent is. And a lot of tension in Bristol historically between the black community and the police. But if the police ever stop me in the streets, normally it's just to ask me about my childhood in Vietnam. No, I am proper light-skinned. I was born knowing all the words to Sweet Caroline. Because you guys love that song, that's like your civil rights song. We shall overcome. I am one of the only people in the world who probably knows what it's like to use white privilege and play the race card in the same conversation. But I do get stereotyped quite a lot. If I'm at a house party, someone will come up to me and they'll talk to me like I'm dealing. You know what I mean? Like they'll come up to me and they'll be like, hey man, are you holding? And I don't know what they're talking about. And I go, holding a special place in my heart for Jesus. And they're like, nah, have you got any weed? You got any coke? You got any pills? And I'm like, fuck off, mate. I don't share. I'm 6'3" in mixed race, so people automatically assume that I'm good at basketball, which is a very common stereotype attributed to black men. And I'm like, that is actually a little bit of a racist stereotype, brother. Just because I'm 6'3" in mixed race doesn't automatically mean I'm good at basketball. I'm shit at basketball. I keep tripping over my massive cock. There are some stereotypes attached to men of color, though, that I will admit I do actually embody quite actively. The biggest one is white women. And I understand there's quite a little bit of a fetishization for white women when it comes to men of color. You know, it seems... It's all good, mate. It's all good. We all have our favorite categories on the LP Hub. But Like, a lot of my friends have said to me at the time, it's like, you know, a lot of these girls that like approach you and ask you out, they have like, totally fetishized you. Does that not bother you? No. Either they've built me up to be this kind of like forbidden fruit, you know, or they're trying to piss off their racist dad. Either way, I'm never calling her again.